Hey everyone, it's Natalie. So I'm back again today just to talk more about the detriment of your in-laws and the suppression that you go through while dealing with these people, and just the way that your life is on pause dealing with these people. It's like you can't live your life because they're living it for you, and you can't speak up because then you'll be the bad person. Or if you do speak up, you're shut down. You know, you're stuck in this situation where you just feel unwanted, unwelcomed. Nobody is supporting you. Your husband might a little bit be supporting you. Let me put this on the stand. Your husband might a little bit be supporting you. Sorry, I rushed in here because my son didn't have school until 11, so I'm just getting to work. And this is my lunch break because it's already noon, basically. But anyway, off subject. So I've been doing a lot of thinking about on some of the comments that were left, and how a lot of these women are going through the same thing, and they feel as though their husband doesn't believe them, or their husband won't stick up for them. It will end in divorce or arguments, or just all kinds of stuff, and then the woman is left feeling like, well, I guess the only thing I can do is put up with the abuse because nobody is believing me. Nobody has my back. When I go and speak about it to my husband or whoever, they get defensive. They get defensive. Like, oh, you're overreacting. Or they might even blame shift and say, no, you're the one acting like that. If you would act this way, then she would act that way. But what they don't see is that the way that you're acting is normal, okay? You're acting normal. You're being yourself. You're having your own opinions. You're having your own decisions. And the other person, your in-law, is being demanding and demeaning and authoritarian, and isn't letting you portray yourself the way that you want. So then you have that person basically molding you like clay, because I use that analogy because it's true, molding you like clay to be the person that they want you to be. The way you look, the way you speak, the things you do, your decisions, everything that makes you, your own individual person. This person is molding you like clay to be who they want you to be. But the problem with this, and I can tell you after 18 years, no matter how much they mold you and how much you listen and how much you bend over backwards and how much you act phony around these people, you will never meet their standards. You will be molded like clay for the rest of your life and never having a finished product, no matter what you do. So then you're sitting here, and I can speak from experience. I would act myself at home and around everyone else, my family, my friends, in public. I'd act like me. And then it's like the moment I would get in the car, I'm dreading going to see my mother-in-law, because I know I have to put on this phony front to please her, even though she's going to insult me, even though she's going to belittle me and make me feel unwelcome and like a burden. I would be dreading it in the car on the way to their house. Like, even my husband, I'm not the only one that acted phony around them. Even my husband, both of us, we'd be in the car slumped over like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to go over here. Because if you don't go when they invite you, they'll make you pay for it. They'll cry. Like, one of the things my mother-in-law used to do to my husband was, if he said, no, I can't do this or that, like if it was a holiday or a birthday or we couldn't, we don't want to give our son to her, she'd say, oh, Jared, I did so much for you. This is her favorite. I put you through college. And you're telling me no? I mean, literally, that was her favorite line. And so then she would put this guilt trip, and I'm sure you've experienced the guilt trip when you tell them no. So that's why you're going over there, okay? Because you're not choosing to go there. And so then you're in the car like, I don't know, it's like you're switching into another personality. And the moment that you drive into the driveway, your heart's in your stomach and you just know this is going to be another bad experience. And so that's what happens is you walk in their front door and boom, it's like multiple personality. So now you're who they want you to be. And then while you're around them, you're pleasing them, you're people pleasing them, or I call it your narc pleasing. So the whole time you're there, you're acting phony. You're not yourself because you know that if you're yourself and you act the way you want, you're going to be ridiculed. And you don't want that because you've been hurt so many times. You're like, whatever I have to do to avoid this person attacking me, I'm going to do. Like, I only have to be phony for an hour or more. Like, that's it. So as long as I don't get attacked or ridiculed or insulted or belittled, I'll make it through this. And then I'm not going to get in the car and cry all the way home and feel miserable for the next week. Which then, in return, actually, with my situation, it wasn't even a week. Within a few days, I'd get another boom hit by her. Because then, oh, let me see my grandson. Oh, come over to dinner, blah, blah, blah. And, in my situation, she was very hospitable. I'll give her that. She was very hospitable. But her hospitality came with strings attached. So you're over there, she's being hospitable, she's being perfect, she's making sure everything's perfect. But you do one little thing that's not in her game plan, she would be like snooty, make snooty remarks to you, and just doing things that you're like, oh yeah, I can't be, you have to remember, oh yeah, I can't be myself. And it's really sad. And I think, when you can't be yourself around someone, and you're pretending to be someone else, they never get to know the real you. Because it's suppressed. That beautiful person inside of you, they never get to see it. Who knows, maybe they'll even like it if they gave it a chance. But they have to have so much control that you don't get a chance to show your heart, to show your true nature, to say, look at me. I'm a beautiful person. Do you like it? You never get that chance. And then they miss out on the beautiful person that you are and how special you are and all the great qualities about you. And they don't get to see that glorious individual that you are. And it's sad. Because you and I know that in life, if somebody, let's say not your mother-in-law, or let's say not even your mother, if you go around someone and they're right off the bat attacking you and attacking your personality, most of us would have nothing to do with them again. It's by force that we have to be around these people. By force. We're not choosing to be insulted and abused. It's by force. Because I can tell you one thing. I've met some really bad people, some really bad narcissists, and even a psychopath. And let me tell you, the moment I see their true nature, I'm out of there. See, it takes a minute to see that in someone. So it might be like a month, and then you see it and you're like, oh, because they hide it, they suppress it. And then you're like, oh. And then you make your escape plan and you never talk to those people again. But with your in-laws, you're forced, sorry to repeat that, but you are, to be around these people, which then, in return, abuses you and makes you feel like you can't be yourself because it's never good enough for these people. You're sitting here people-pleasing. And so, from my experience, it was horrible for 18 years. And most of that time, I had nothing to do with her because she would not have anything to do with me. And then the other time, she would have nothing to do with my husband because he was with me. And when we did have our child and she wanted to be a part of it, it didn't even take her a year to start telling my husband to divorce me. And you know what the situation was? My husband was working out of town, and I called the maintenance man. I had a 1-year-old kid. I had the maintenance man come and fix 3 things at my house. And he sexually assaulted me 3 times. And every time I showed him what the problem was in the house, he sexually assaulted me. And I didn't know how to stop it. I didn't know how to leave. Because I felt like if I put up a fight, my 1-year-old child could be hurt. So I just allowed him to do it those 3 times. I didn't fuss. I didn't fight him. I just accepted it. And he left, and I called my mother-in-law and tell her about it. And of course they want to call the cops and all this stuff, and I just didn't want to go through all of that. And so then she started with, hey, do you want to start going to a therapist? And I said, oh my God, yes. I was like, oh my God, this woman is actually going to be there for me. Like, she's telling me she's willing to watch my child while I go to therapy to get help for this sexual assault. What do you think she was doing in the background while I thought, man, our relationship is getting stronger? She pulled my husband aside and told my husband that if he didn't think he could go through my sexual assault, that he shouldn't feel obligated to stay. Exact words, basically. I think she said that he shouldn't feel bad if he wants to leave, is what she said. My husband, I guess what happened, I can't remember exactly, but his mother had called him over to eat, just them 2. And that's when she told him, and my husband was shocked. He said, Mom, I can't do that to Natalie. She needs me. Like, I could never do that. And he came home, literally cried all the way home from his mother's house to our house. Came inside and said, Nat, I need to talk to you. Right away, he did this. And I went and sat down, and I saw tears in his eyes. And I was like, what happened? Like, did someone die? What happened? And he told me that. And I was shocked. I was stunned. Because here I am thinking for the first time in our relationship, this woman was doing exactly what she said, and that was she was no longer going to treat me bad. And it didn't even take her a year. 1 year. I had a 1-year-old kid. I just got sexually assaulted, and she's telling my husband to leave me because if he it's hard on him. The sexual assault is hard on him and not me. She said I was acting erratic or Something like that. But the truth is, anyone that's ever been sexually assaulted, you don't know how you're going to act. How dare her tell my husband I was acting erratic or how to feel after a sexual assault? Like, how dare her? I was going through it, and I needed people to be around me and stay strong for me, not abandon me. But that's what she wanted him to do. Because it wasn't, the point of this story is, it wasn't in her plan. My sexual assault was a burden on the family. And even when that happened, I stayed silent. I stayed silent to please my husband and to keep peace in the family. When I really wanted to confront her, I was crying and upset, and it's still to this day. It happened 5 years ago, almost 6. Still to this day, it affects me because I think, how can someone be so cruel? Like, how is she going to tell me how to act after being sexually assaulted in front of my 1-year-old child, and how I had to allow it to keep my child safe? How would she feel if her mother-in-law told her husband to leave her after she was sexually assaulted? It's unbelievable how these people are. They're selfish people. They only think about them. That's it. That's who they think about. And if you do something that disrupts their perfect life, because my narcissist is quote unquote perfect. If you do anything, which it wasn't my fault, if anything happens, let me put it that way. If anything happens to disrupt the perfect life that she has planned, then she doesn't need you, even when it's not your fault. You know, you're disrupting her family with this sexual assault. And I guess I wanted to share that with you because I know that I said I was going to do a part 2 of my story, which I should, but I'm just giving you a little bit of insight on some of the things that women go through, because I've read in the comments, I'm just sharing this one story with you. I read in the comments some of these people's stories, and I'm just like, yeah, the husband never stands up to the mom until the wife says, if you don't, I'm out of here. And that's when the husband usually starts, but maybe the husband never does because he's so used to being treated that way that he doesn't see anything wrong with the way you're treated. See, my husband's the scapegoat, so he's been treated bad his whole life. So for me to take some of these, punches from his mother is not a big deal because he's been treated like that his whole life. We're the black sheep, my husband and me. We're the black sheep in the family because we don't listen to what his mother says. We live our life the way we want, free of drama, free of, people controlling our life. We're not children. We're not children. You are not a child. You should be able to live your life the way you want without anybody disrupting it with their opinions and decisions. It's none of their business. And you shouldn't tolerate it. And if you have a husband that's not willing to stand up for you, I know what you're going through. My husband would stand up a little bit to her because he was scared of her. And she would always make up an excuse. She would never apologize. She never apologized for the remarks that she told my husband about the sexual assault. She never apologized. They don't think they're in the wrong. Even when a situation like that occurs and they say something like that, they still don't think they're in the wrong. They can't see it. Oh, the lights went out. They can't see what they've done that they owe someone an apology for. And I'm sure you've experienced it. And this is where, even after that, I still didn't go no contact. Even after that. And I sat quiet. You go in there? Okay. Oh, it's the breaker. Okay. Okay. Thanks. Next time I'll do it. Sorry about that. The lights went off and we had to fix the breaker. But what I was saying is, sorry about that. Seriously, every video I have a disruption, it seems like. But, you know, what I was saying is, even after all that, I sat quiet. I didn't get an apology. And I'm sure you've been through that. And the whole thing is like, your husband tries to stand up for you, but it's like a timid action. Like, well, that's not, this is my husband. Well, that's not very nice of you to say that, Mom. She's my wife, and I have a kid with her, and I need to be with her. Like, I couldn't do that. That's the way my husband talks to his mom when he's confronting her. He never directly says anything that lays the law down. That's why she's gotten away with treating me like this for so many years. And I'm sure, I know I'm speaking for a lot of you guys. I know I am. And you don't know what to do. You have to go no contact with these people. Because if not, this is going to be your life for the rest of your life. And that's what my husband basically decided to do too, because he doesn't know how to stand up to his mom. He doesn't know how to speak like a man to her. So the easiest escape plan was just to stay silent. He has very little communication with her. I have zero. And like, they don't really talk on the phone or anything. I think what it is like, she keeps including him in group texts. And I already told him he needs a blocker. But once again, he's a codependent. So he's not going to do that. And we don't talk about her. I don't look on his phone. I don't care at all. There's been a couple times that my husband brought a text message to my attention, and I got pissed because my husband is hurting so bad by the mistreatment of his parents that I took his phone and went off. And that's the worst thing you can do. Don't ever do that, because you're giving them exactly what they want, and that is to prove that you are a nasty, bad person, even though they are. And you're at the point where you're just exploding at them because you've suppressed it for so long. So the best thing you can do is just not say anything, because you're feeding into basically their frenzy. And no matter how hurt you are, and no matter how mad you are, if you want to win against a narcissist, you stay silent. You don't put your opinions or decisions or verbiage, your anger, everything. You don't do that. It's the worst thing you can do. If you want to get under a narcissist's skin, you stay silent. Because they're wanting you to talk crap to them. They're wanting that, believe it or not. That's what they want. It's mind-boggling to think that somebody gets the joy out of you being upset and telling them while you're mad. Like, that's what they want. They suck it in. It's like they're sucking part of your soul in, because they don't have a soul. And they're feeding on everyone's souls. That's the truth. It's hard to believe that. It's really hard to believe that these people get a high off of your pain. But they do. Because I want you to think about something. When you were happy and everything was going good in that family, what did the narcissist do? Cause conflict. Make you upset. Make you lash out. Why is it every time that something's going right in your life, they have to come in and make a mess? It's because they enjoy it. I know it sounds crazy, but they enjoy sucking the life out of people. And then what they do is they turn around and they say, when you do lash out, they say, see, I told you. Oh yeah, remember when I was gossiping? Oh yeah, remember? I told you, Natalie, or whatever your name is, like that. I told you she's like that. Or I told you he's like that. That's why they want you to lash out. Because they've already smeared your name. Now they just need proof. And if you stay silent, they can't get the proof. So then it reflects back on them that they're liars. They're connivers. That they're starting trash. It looks bad on the narcissist. When you stay silent, you don't feed into it, so they don't have proof to the other person. The other person does not have the proof. So every time the narcissist does come, the other person's like, well, I haven't experienced that. And the next thing you know, there's a shift. And that shift is the person they're smearing you to might even come back around and tell you what's happening, because throughout that time, this person has not experienced that with you. And so then the narcissist just looks like a big jerk. People eventually find out how the narcissist is. They eventually do, or they already know and they stay silent like I did, just so no drama happens in the family or the friend circle. But most people know exactly how they are. They know exactly how they are. But they stay silent. So you know, fighting and stuff doesn't go on. And other people are worried about hurting the narcissist's feelings. The narcissist isn't worried about hurting your feelings. But they're flying monkeys. They're scared to hurt the narcissist's feelings. Even though they go around smearing people's name, even though they go around hurting people's families, they don't care. They want you to hurt. It sounds crazy. I know I keep saying that, but that's what they want. Believe me. I've experienced this for, 18, 19 years. Nothing was ever good enough, and she was constantly snickering behind my back, constantly talking crap about me behind my back, constantly smearing me to everyone that would listen. But you know it's messed up on her end. It's because I did stay silent for so many years. There was people that were some of the closest people to my mother-in-law. The closest came and told me what she had been doing for years. The closest. And told me that they don't see why she is doing that. They even told me that she just started acting like this. Well, now it's been about 15 years. But she just about 15 years. That she just started acting like that. That she wasn't always like this. That's what they told me. It's hard to believe. I'm sure she was like this her whole life. But basically what they were saying is just like the way she smears people, talks about people, acting really snooty because they have a lot of money, looking down on people, treating people like they're beneath them. Someone very, very close to her told me this. And they don't agree with the way she acts. They told me this, I think I was like 24, 25. So it's been 10 years. And I'm sure, you know, they told me not to say anything, so I never confronted her with the information I have. And I have other family members told me the same thing that feel bad for me. It wasn't just those people. There's quite a few of them that they don't agree. They don't agree with her. So that's where my point is you keep letting the narcissist smear your name and you stay silent. You stay silent because you're going to prove them wrong. You're going to prove them wrong if you stay silent. That's why people came and told me what she was saying about me. In her very own family. They came and told me. So stay silent. Prove them wrong. Anyways, this is 30 minutes. Sorry. Peace, love, and harmony. I'll check you guys later. Bye.